Still buffering. There we go. We're live. Hello po. Tri Nation, how are you? The Direct JM here and with Gabe. So how are you? Fine Saturday morning. I
Hello.
hope you're okay. And of course, before anything else, it's a fine Saturday morning. Kape muna. There we go. So how are you? Sir Gabe, how are you?
Good, good,
Everything
good.
okay?
Everything's okay. We're all excited for the new TriPH app to release. We've been
Uy,
preparing for that.
wow.
Um, yeah, and been busy, and hopefully, soon we'll get it out to the people and start watching from there.
No, no, patindi. So we do look. We are looking forward to the TryPH app, and it's going to roll out really, really soon. And you'll be able to see it on the Google Play Store first, and then eventually on for Apple users, we'll be going to the App Store really soon afterwards. So yeah, we have so many things to share with you today. We'll be focusing more on sound production as we have a sound and music producer with us this morning. Sir Gabe will give us a tour of his workflow, of course. But before that, we would like to give you a bit of tech news. Now, you well know that normally Apple would release their new iPhones every September on a September event. But recently, after the September event, we have now news that there will be one on October 13. So that's next Tuesday, right? Next Tuesday, where this event is now called High Speed. Well, this is a moniker, and Apple usually loves playing with the titles of their events. This would then focus on the technology of speed, but on what device? Well, a lot of people are saying this would be the release of the new iPhones, since these new iPhones will be featuring high speed technology such as the new 5G capability and as well faster bionic chips, newer bionic chips, and faster processing speeds as well. So, are you excited to find out what's going to be released on October 13th? Now, if you are, then don't miss it. Go to the Apple website, apple.com, and then you can actually find the link to the live streaming event on that day. So, normally, if we are here in the Philippines, you can catch that very early on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I'm not sure because we're time zones. I'm a bit confused with time zones, right? Looking forward to that,
It's
Gabe.
one of those. It's one of those days.
It's one of
It's a
those.
day.
If
Yeah.
you want to check it out and really would like to not to miss it, but you don't need to really catch the live event, then a Wednesday would be good to check it out.
Yes.
That would
Be early. Be early.
Oy, we're missing one. We're missing one J today, and
Oo nga eh.
yes,
Wala
Kuya
si
brother Joey Cuevo. Good morning.
Uy, good morning po.
How are you? Please get well soon,
Get
po.
better, kuya.
Yeah, there we go. So he will be joining us very soon on our next on our next show. Anyway, without further ado, Sir Gabe, we would like to really dive into sound production, and we would like to ask you to please allow us to take a glimpse or a sneak peek of how you do your workflow.
All right. So, very quickly, just want to let everyone know first, introduce how production is done. And there are many ways to do this. There's not one way to do production. It's always feel. Music is an art, so music should be done um, through your heart. It's so cheesy, but it's true. You have to feel this thing, feel this art out by trying to see which feels good, what sounds good for you. It
Uh-huh.
depends on the genre as well. What genre? Kung ano yung gusto nyong tunog. Acoustic ba yan? Rock ba yan? Electronic ba yan? So whatever genre you're going for, um, there are different ways to do this. Um, I, for myself, if I want to approach audio production in itself and its music,
Mm-hmm.
as if it's for a movie, I always start with the melody, and the melody comes from my head. It just pops up. It usually comes when I'm in the shower. Like,
All right.
everything happens in the shower. When you're in the
Right.
shower and you start singing and a melody, that's your idea tank, your shower. Like, everything comes there. When you leave the shower, it just goes away. So what I
Yeah.
do, so what I do is I have my phone outside my bathroom, and I start humming the melody that I have in my head in my voice notes. In my Yeah, it's something I learned from Charlie Puth when he I saw an interview of him and he called his album Voice Notes. And I
Oh, okay.
wondered why. Because everything that he did was from his phone. And he just has an
Mm-hmm.
idea and he sings it, he hums it. It's like and it turns into a full song. Sometimes most of the parts of the song were actually recorded on his phone,
Right.
and you don't really need high technology or high end equipment to make a song. I just want to get that out there. It's not about your equipment, it's not about your software, it's not about the plugins that you have. It's really about how you use them to the full. And without further ado, I'll show you how I do it. This is
Sure.
the application that
Do
I'm
I
using.
share your screen now?
Yes, please.
There you go.
This is the application that I use, and this is a song called "Ocean Eyes" by Billie Eilish. I did not. Just a disclaimer: I do not own this song. Neither do I own the rights to any of it. Um, it's a very famous song by Billie Eilish. Could you play us like a short, um, just a snippet of how it sounds?
Sure, sure. I'm just going to kill that background music for a while. Let me just access YouTube.
There's some nice background music. Who let the dogs out right now?
Right. This is a part of the new normal now. So I'm
Yeah,
going to play something from YouTube, probably a lyric video with Billie Eilish. I'm not sure if this is the one you're looking for. There we go. Wait, let me just share that screen for a while. Lyric, share audio, share. Can you see it now?
yeah.
I've been watching you for some time. Can't stop staring at those ocean eyes. Burning cities and napalm skies. 15 flares inside those ocean
There we
eyes.
go.
All right. So that's the
Right.
song, and
And
I think everybody knows Billie Eilish. She's very famous today. Going back to the screen, to the
right.
Logic Pro.
Wait for a moment.
Sorry,
I'm just going to credit Mr. Andre Menejali for for that lyric video. Thank you so much, Sir Andre, for allowing us to use that video. And then here we go back to the screen.
right. So this is the application. It's called Logic Pro, and yes, her brother Phineas and her did this, I believe, in their bedroom. Most of their songs were done in their bedroom, or they
Right.
record it, and they also have something like a microphone like this, and that's it. Just a microphone, and everything else is recorded on the laptop. So as you can see, there are so many vocal layers on this song,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how he started, but I will just show you how I would start. I would usually
Sure.
start not on the vocals. I would start with the drums, and that would be here. Modern Machines, the kick and the snare.
Right. So
And
when you start with the when you start with the drums, is this just some sort of like a preference for you, or
yeah, it's a preference for me because I don't like to play on a metronome because
okay.
people want to stay people want to stay in timing, right? So they have a metronome, which is this tuk 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 sound, and that sound you don't really get to be consistent with when you're recording a guitar or whatever, or even your voice. But with the drums, you feel the beat, you feel the music when you're recording. So I always start with the drums and then layer everything else after that. So I'd start with the drums, which is the kick right here. Let me just play it. I don't know if you can hear this.
probably not?
Yeah, that's it. So that's the drums. Very
Mm-hmm.
simple. And then there's also some African stuff here. So I'd layer out the drums. There's some, I don't know what African part this is. Yeah. So there's like bongos.
Mm,
So there's some bongos and stuff. So you have a rhythm to it. And now that you have a rhythm, it's easier to stay in timing, right?
mm. That's
And
right.
then we'd have the bass. Of course, we have the bass, or in this case, it's like a synthesizer, and then also
Right.
some pads, which add some mid section, and then the claps and everything. So the little pieces started to fill up the gaps, and you can see making a song as a puzzle. Like, oh, okay, this needs this and it needs that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to fill up the spaces so that,
Right.
you know, your picture becomes a beautiful masterpiece. And I always start with the drums. And then I always start with the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see from this, I'm just going to minimize the size a little bit. As you can see from the picture, the busiest
Ooh.
part of the busiest part of the song is always the chorus, as you can
Right.
from there. So there's a lot of vocals here, not many vocals in the verses and the intros.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I like to start in the chorus is because that's where all your ideas come out. Like, oh, I have a new idea. I want to put it in. I want to put it in. And you have all that energy and all your ideas show up in the chorus. If you started with the introduction, at least for me, in my experience, if you started in the introduction or the verse, you have all the good ideas in the verses and the introduction, and then when you come to the chorus you ran out of ideas, and you're like, oh, what can I add to the chorus that sounds different from the verse, or from different from the introduction? So you kind of l-
Mm-hmm.
instead of going higher, the energy going higher, you lose steam on the way to the chorus, and that's a bad thing, at least for me. When I make my songs, the chorus is always the busiest part, so we record that first. um she has a lot of, let me just play the vocals part. um just gonna
Right.
solo that. Just gonna solo this layer of vocals. That's a lot of vocals.
That's a lot of vocals indeed.
Yeah, this is a layer of, okay, it's
So
already, yeah, yes, there. So that's a choir. There's like a choir here. I don't know if you can hear it.
we can't.
Yeah.
Probably you should
Sorry.
install you should install loop back audio so that we can hear next time.
Oh, okay, next time. Yeah, well, this is a core. It's like a choir thing that she did here, and she did it all by herself. So what she did was she sang the same melody, but in different um, keys, different notes, harmonizing with each other. That's how
Right.
good she is. You know, she knows the harmonies to her own song,
Mhm.
and that's a skill that you have to learn. And then later on, the last thing she did, of course, was the main vocal. So
Right.
that's the that's the song that you hear, that you know and memorize. So it is, if you want to put it in a nutshell, the way I do things is backwards. You do the
Backwards.
highest, yeah, back it's
Interesting way. Mm.
yeah, backwards production. So you start with the drums, which is the least thing that you would think of, and then the bass, then the guitars or the pads and the synthesizers and the piano, and then the vocals. becomes last. Because again, if you're thinking of the process and how it's done and you want to feel the music as you're going through recording, yung boses mo, if you're singing to a metronome, if you started with the voice, parang okay, I don't feel the energy of the music, so I'll just sing it and see where it goes. But if
Right.
you're listening to the full instrumental track while you're singing it and you record the vocals last, mas ramdam
Right.
mo yung song, mas feel mo, and you can really come out with beautiful, re- uh, a beautiful way of delivery of the vocals in the end. Yeah,
So
so that is how I enter production.
so normally, how long would it take you for a project for you to complete a project?
Okay, so there are different stages to finishing a song, to really finish a song. A writing stage depends on how creative I feel. Like it's really on feel.
Right.
If I feel like writing a good song and I have the idea and have, no, sometimes I would get help from a lyricist. By the way, that's a good thing to do during the quarantine is collaborate with different people. If you're a producer, if you have a good, you already know how to do this, but you run out of ideas for lyrics or you don't
Right.
have ideas for a melody, you can ask
Mhm.
for a lyricist and collaborate with them. And you
Right.
do over Zoom and you just call, send them
Mhm.
your instrumental, and later, a few weeks later, they come up with the melody and the lyrics, and you just sing it and ask her to sing it or her or him to sing it. That's how I do it actually, and that process of writing, just writing, not recording, takes about 1 week. I can already come up with a basic song, and then yung production and adding the instruments and really making the sound what it is, um, it takes another week, and then mixing. Now there's a process called mixing where you shape the sound, and this is a
Right.
mixer here. This is a
Wait, let
mixer.
me show your screen again. So that's a mixer.
This is a mixer, and this is where all of this goes through. So all of the tracks that you see now, this one, all of that goes through a mixer. And what a mixer does is, well, it mixes all of the sounds together so it blends nicely, and that you can manipulate each sound, each track, so that they don't clash with each other. Kasi ayaw natin na nagka-clash yung sound. So this is what a mixer does. Yung mga masyadong malalakas, you can make it lower. Pwede niyong hinaan. Yung
Right.
mga like too much bass, pwede mong bawasan ng bass. Or kailangan pa ng konting sizzle, you add some treble. So those are the things that you can do with a mixer. That will take you maybe 2-3 days at mixing because you have to test. One final thing you have to check though after mixing is mastering. A lot of people forget this is to actually master. So what I
Right.
use for that tool that I use is this tool called Isotope Ozone 9. Now,
Right.
Ozone 9 is a tool created by Isotope, and it helps you make sure that your levels are of the same levels industry, sa streaming industry. Yung mga ano kasi, mga music na nire-release natin after mag-mix, usually mahina. Like it's not loud enough.
Ah,
You have to
all
crank up
right.
the volume just to hear it. And then you release it to Spotify or you release it on iTunes, mas mahina siya compared to the other songs that you hear out in like pop music that's really popular. So what we do is we go through a mastering plugin or a master. We do mastering, which is making sure that everything is in the same level as the standard of music industry standard. And
Right.
what I would do is I'll take a song that I like that sounds similar to my song, and then check the volumes of each. If one is reaching a little bit louder than the other, and I just try to match that. Another thing is I check the EQ or the bass nun, masyado bang malakas bass ko compared dun sa industry standard na song. The same with the mids and the high frequencies. And finally, the last thing to do after a mix, after a master, is you go to your every single device that you have, your phone, headphones mo, try different headphones and test your song. It may sound
Yeah.
good. It may sound good on monitor speakers. It may sound good on your headphones. But then when you check it on your phone, it's like, bakit parang nawala yung boses ko? Or it's, or
Right.
I would always go for the songs on your on your car. Like if you have a car and you have they call it the car audio test. So they go to
Mm-hmm.
the car and they play your song. You play your song on the car and just listen
Right.
to it on the way to work or whatever. That's how you can tell if it's ready. Like if it's really good, because it's something as ordinary as a car audio stereo is going to be enough to say, this is good enough for iTunes or Spotify or the radio. That's how you know
Right.
it's radio ready.
So you
So
have
always
to really check it out. Yeah. Always check
check
it
it in
out.
every device before you show people.
Before you show and share to other people. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Sir Gabe. I think if you have any words of any words to share to those who would like to start sound production, especially now during this quarantine.
Yeah, really encourage others to start trying music, try the shows that start watching, shows by Ellie, try this music. Um, there's one episode where he shows you how to make music such as that, how to do instruments if you're interested in that.
Right.
Also, our previous episodes of Tech to Try, um, with Justine, she showed a some equipment for recording.
Mm.
What are some good equipment for recording music? With Sir Deniv, I believe.
Yes, that's
And
season one, episode two. I remember it clearly.
yeah, season one, episode two. If you guys want to check that out, what
Mm.
are the things that you might try for recording? But I also want to say it's not really about the equipment. I don't believe that you need expensive equipment to make good music. The only reason why there are expensive equipment is just to make things easier, maybe more convenient, para mas mabilis yung flow ng work mo.
Right.
But not really. I wouldn't say you have to go get a Mac that's like super high end. Um, you can even do it on a Windows laptop.
Right.
I suggest invest on good headphones
Mm-hmm.
if you can, a good pair of headphones and a good software for recording. That's
Right.
it.
So I saw you were using Logic Pro, no? And I think Logic Pro 10 is actually native to Mac devices.
Mm.
If they are going to do this on a Windows computer, what device would you suggest? What application would you suggest for them to start with?
Well, there are
Probably a
many
free
out
one.
there. There
Mm.
are many out there. In fact, I still use this. The free ones I use are Pro Tools first.
Pro
Pro
Tools.
Tools, yeah, Pro Tools came out with a free version of their software, Pro Tools HD or Pro Tools, just Pro Tools 2020. It's called Pro Tools first, and especially if you buy like something like this, a Focus. I'm just gonna show you guys.
The
Let's see.
Focusrite.
Yeah, the Focusrite. Um, okay, there. The box. This is a audio interface. If you buy an audio interface, whether it's a Focusrite or something else, it usually comes with software.
Mm.
And one of those software is Ableton Lite. That's another one. Ableton Lite and Pro Tools first. You can try those. Maganda silang gamitin. Very easy to understand, easy to use. Maganda yung effects. Ang daming free na plugins that comes with it, EQs and compressors. Para ka
Right.
na ring some limitations, but it's still very good for a starter.
Very good. So probably I'll try diving into Logic Pro again. I used to have this combination with Final Cut 10 and Logic Pro 10, of course, processing audio into that for video productions. But I never really went too far into to sound production. So yeah, I'm starting to get really curious about this. And thank you for sharing all those wonderful insights. Hopefully next on one of our episodes here on Tech to Try, we'll be able to demonstrate to our tries all the original songs that you were able to produce for Try PH Media, and also for some of our gold and platinum partners here in Try PH Media. And something to look forward to, Tri Nation. Right. So let's start greeting some of our friends who came by, who dropped by. Ma'am Nicole Bodomo, hello po. Thank you so much. Regine
Hello.
Tiamson, hello. And Sir Abraham Louis Cinco Garcia. There we go. So hopefully we were able to give you some very good insights when it comes to sound production, and we will be gearing back towards the whole package next week on our shows here on Tech to Try. We do apologize that we've been missing some of our airing times because we've been really busy this past week trying to
Especially me
catch up
though.
with life.
I haven't done an apps to try episode for 4 weeks now.
And you haven't even reached your season end
I
yet.
haven't even reached my season ending.
Yes. So yeah. So anyway, we'll try as much as possible, especially the Wednesday part. If we are not going to hit Wednesdays anymore, we'll definitely find time, the right day for us to have that app dedicated Tech to Try episode every week. Probably on a Tuesday. Probably we still need admin approval for that, but
Yeah.
we'll try our best to maintain our Saturdays as regular as we are, and then of course our Thursdays as well at 10 a.m.
I have a
So
question. I have a
right.
question for the people watching.
Yes, question,
Um,
please.
if we have tried robotics, right, and we see how to program robots, how to create one, how to build one, and what are transistors and or things like that. What are the types of robots? And he shows you how to really program one with some coding. Let's ask the audience: do you guys want to learn just what it would be like to develop an application?
Ooh. So we're
Would you
going
like
into
us
that now, huh?
would you like us to show you how we make application? Not really the TryPH app. We won't show you how we made that, but like
Not that kind of
how,
code.
because it's so easy right now, and it's free. By the
Yes,
way,
it's free.
it's
We
it's
can
free
actually
to make
start.
apps.
We can actually start it this way. If you want, we can give this as a gift to the Tri Nation. We'll start first with the basics. Let's start with some simple HTML coding, something
Okay.
that can allow them to develop their own personal website first, and then from there we can start probably diving into other programming languages. Perhaps we can start showing them how to move around Flutter,
Oh, Flutter.
something of the sort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flutter, or probably if you're into Droid development, then we'll show you how to develop on Droid. Let's, I can share some things about Xcode as well on the Apple side of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, for myself and Sir Gabe here, when we do development, we always go for Flutter because a simple reason, because if you do Flutter, it's easier to roll out on any other platform.
Mac,
Mac,
iOS,
iOS,
Android, web.
Android, web, web apps.
So if you
Yes.
want to see that, please comment down below and let us know if there are other suggestions you want to see.
Right. Very good. So si Ma'am Eden and Ma'am Regina already Eden Calivoso. Yeah, thank you for watching. Would like to thank everybody who came and watched the live show today, and those who will be catching the live the delayed telecast later on both Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
We thank you for allowing us to reach out to you and sharing some of our practical tips so that we can help you out in your career. So please continue to support Tech to Try every Thursdays 10 a.m., Saturday 10 a.m., and sometimes Wednesdays at 6 p.m. So any final words, Sir Gabe?
Yeah. Stay safe. Don't go out when you don't need to. Um, if you can have them ordered and delivered to your house, make sure you can just do that.
Right.
Find something to do. Get busy and try and try and try different things. So don't delay.
Try
Try today.
today. And with that, we leave you with this.